when you start making a bunch of money from YouTube, whatever you're doing, you want to do more of, right? It happened to me too, but the fact the thing I was doing wasn't hurting anybody. Simon Airport A-hole here, and you have seen the title, and you have said to yourself, Simon, there's no possible way that is true, but it is true. Now, of course, have I seen Nikocado Avocado's name around the place? Yes, I mean, I've seen it on a lot of Greg Doucette's videos, but I don't watch every single YouTube video that comes my way, because I like to think I'm a very busy man, and I am distracted by other things. Not that there's anything wrong with watching a bunch of YouTube videos. I certainly would like to do that, but I have not. However, recently, on one of my Patreon Q&As, cheap plug, patreon.com/Simon316, just to let you know how I came about it. Somebody sent me basically a mini documentary that had been done on YouTube by Sunny V2 that was called The Tragic Transformation of Nikocado Avocado, right? So I watched that, and then I watched a bunch of his videos. Then I watched all the Greg Doucette stuff, and I was like, my word, I don't know how this hasn't come across my desk before, but now that I've seen it, I feel like I just need to sit down and I need to talk about it. That's the beauty of YouTube. Doesn't matter if you're on something, as soon as it does happen, you can still come back to it years afterwards, and if you ain't interested in that, then that's perfectly fine. Now, what I will say is that I know that Mr. Avocado, if that is his real name, watches a lot of these videos, right? That's basically the whole beef with Greg Doucette, is that he doesn't want him talking about him anymore. But I completely understand why people are. Now, the way, or the tack that I want to take with it comes down to the idea of these mukbang videos. If you don't know what a mukbang is, it's basically when you watch somebody else eat a lot of food, which is what Nikocado Avocado, is the hardest name to pronounce ever, has done for years. And it meant he went from this to looking like this as he made videos like this.
And I have to do 5 pounds a month. Let's do 120 divided by 5. How many?
Now, you would have seen this with a bunch of other people as well. I mean, we talked about them here on our channel. We've done some reaction videos to that one guy. He's really famous, and I can't remember his name now because I'm an asshole, who, I mean, he's done thousands of videos, but the one we looked at, he basically drank an entire tub of Arnold Schwarzenegger weight gainer, which was absolutely crazy. And there's another dude with a beard. I'm terrible with names. I watch him a lot as well. But the difference, I think, between those guys is they are competitive eaters, whereas mukbang people, I mean, I'm sure there's crossovers as well, but especially with Mr. Avocado, as I shall keep calling him, you know, when he started doing it, he was a vegan, and then he gave up veganism because he found the community too stressful or whatever. And then the short story is he started to realize that, wow, people are enjoying me watching, people are enjoying watching me eating thousands and thousands of calories. He also had the added spin that when he first went to Burger King, it was the first time he had a burger in 10 years, and the YouTube algorithm is going to love that. And when you do go through his videos, again, I watched about 10 to 12 of them from different parts of his career, you do see him go from, like, I think it's like 150, 160 pounds all the way up to a 350 pound dude. Now, look, we've talked about this before. Is it on me to look down this camera lens and tell the dude to lose weight? No, it is not. I do not know him. I mean, from a more general point of view, do I think anybody should be carrying that much weight? No, I don't, because it's bad. It's bad for their health. However, much as I wouldn't expect a random stranger to come around my house and start yelling in my window, I don't want to do it to anybody else. And I think if you know someone, that's completely different and you have a relationship with them. However, this comes down to more of the YouTube to mukbang to financial ratio, which is kind of what I think has happened here. In short, when you start making a bunch of money from YouTube, whatever you're doing, you want to do more of, right? It happened to me too, but the fact the thing I was doing wasn't hurting anybody. For example, Jim Fell reaction videos. We do way more now than we would have otherwise because, one, people ask for more, and when I sit down and look at my analytics, I'm like, okay, this is what the audience wants, and I want to service that audience because, one, that's the whole point of having some kind of platform and having kind of some service, but also, two, it comes with it of the nice reward that financially you're going to be compensated for it along the way, because obviously the more views you do, the more money you're going to get. But when it comes to actually the food that you're eating, like, so if you do a 5,000 calorie challenge and you do 10,000 views on your small channel, and then you move up to 10,000 calories and you do 100,000 views, well, you're just going to keep pushing that boat out. You're going to keep pushing that boat out. And now, what I think a lot of people don't realize is with competitive eaters, if they do a crazy Wednesday when they smash, 10,000 calories, they will ensure that they balance their calorie intake throughout the week out. So let's say it'd be more or less than this, whatever. But let's say it's 20,000 calories they're having every single week. If they had 10,000 on a Wednesday, it just means Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is dumb day, they will have another 10,000 calories, right? And therefore, they've had 20,000 calories in a week. It's kind of a crazy way to do it. But again, if you're making a bunch of money and your body's putting up with it, I think it's perfectly fine. We all live our lives in different ways. But if you were just continually eating and putting stuff away and putting on weight and, jeopardizing your health, even though the view count is going up and even though, money is pouring in, well, then you start getting into a much more difficult situation where you kind of have to look at yourself in the mirror and go, is it really worth it? Now, of course, I get it. The dude bought a $2.5 million house. Do you know how happy I would be if I bought a $2.5 million house from YouTube revenue? I'd be over the moon, and I would feel like an absolute success. But I think one of the other things you take away from these videos is he doesn't seem particularly happy, in my opinion. I think because he is struggling with his weight so much. I mean, there are certain videos where he says, I'll never get to 300 pounds. And then he's actively trying to get to 300 pounds. And then he's up to 350 pounds. And again, I don't want to cast too much judgment on him because that's not what I do on my channel. Other people do. And obviously more power to them. I think we have to pick our own battles. And this is the way that I do mine. But all of this stuff, and with mukbangs as well, if you don't know about it, the way the science works, or at least some of the science, and the research has been done into this, and again, you can find a study for everything, is that we all want to eat crap, right? We all want to eat bad food. We just do. For some reason, well, it's because we get a dopamine release and it makes us feel really good in our brains and in our tum-tums. But when you watch somebody else doing it, one, if you know you've had a big meal, all of a sudden you feel less guilty. You're like, well, they're doing it. Why can't I doing it? And two, with some people, it actually sets them off because they're like, well, that guy ate a bunch of donuts. Now I want to eat a bunch of donuts. And I feel like we have this sort of like relationship now. We are kindred spirits. So they go out and eat a bunch of donuts. Then you kind of get this strange back and forth where everybody is doing it and you're getting rewarded in some sense, but you are forgetting about your health and you're forgetting about your fitness. And another area that people fall down in, again, Mr. Avocado did this as well, is he started thinking, oh, it must be my hormones. I must have a thyroid problem. It must be water weight. When really it comes down to the fact that you're just eating too much food. And, it's really easy to eat too much food. Because if you get sad or if you get down or if you're in a difficult place in your life, a lot of people use food as a crutch. They just do. It's why people get gambling addictions. It's why people have alcohol, drug addictions. It's the same kind of a thing. When you're not feeling good in your everyday life, you look for outside means in order to bring that happiness into you. Some people do it with their relationship partner. I mean, we're going down a completely different path now, but it's true. You will be in a relationship with somebody else and you will decide, well, I need to get my happiness from them, right? That's why some people who are single are like, oh man, if I was only married, everything would be fine. But it's not true. Your happiness has to come from within, and then this other person has to provide you with the extra happiness. But if you then put all of these pressures on the other person, you're probably going to break up with them because they're never going to be able to satisfy you in the way that you need to be satisfied. And it's the same with this kind of stuff. I mean, it's a completely different area, but it's the same kind of brain patterns, because you don't want to be overweight, because none of us deep down want to be overweight, but eating this bunch of food is, turning you into a YouTube celebrity and it's making you a bunch of cash. So all of a sudden you probably find yourself trapped between a rock and a hard place. Like, you don't want to sacrifice all that, but you're also heading in the wrong direction in another area of your life. And I imagine that can be incredibly stressful. Like, it absolutely could be. And when you start making these excuses, again, it's a medical condition, it's this, it's that, it's nothing to do with the food. It's just, for me, a perilous place to be in. But it can happen. It can happen to all of us. Like, put your hands up if you've had a binge, whatever, binge. You binge date on one day, on one night, over a weekend, whatever it is. Of course your hands got up. It's why, again, go look at every single stereotypical breakup in the history of the world. What do people do? They go eat ice cream. Now, usually this is put on the female end of the spectrum, but I don't know where that came from. I'll smash a tub of ice cream if I'm feeling sad. So I actually felt quite sorry for the dude. Not that he needs my sympathy if he ever sees this video. He doesn't need some random bald a-hole sat here in the UK feeling sorry for him. But again, just from everything I saw and everything I read, I just kind of felt like he probably deep down wasn't warm and fuzzy in his tum-tum, right? That's just the kind of takeaway I took from it. And I do think, again, it's something that should be talked about. The whole mukbang, I'm going to do 10,000 calories. Like, we did a video on The Rock ages ago, Train Like The Rock, and I did one of his cheat meals. And, that day we ate a bunch of calories. But again, I'm doing a bunch of cardio. I'm lifting weights all of the time. And also I'm making sure that I'm on point with my diet as much as I can be. Nobody is 100%. So my point basically is, don't watch these people and think, well, they can do it, I can do it, because nobody can do it. Absolutely nobody can do it. It doesn't matter who you are. Nobody has a super metabolism that they can smash 10,000 calories of junk food every single day and not see ramifications down the line. And the medical ramifications may come first, but eventually you will start getting fat and you will start getting obese, even if you do have a better metabolism or a faster metabolism or whatever it may be, just a better structure to carry this kind of thing. Eventually it will come round and kick your ass. And I think that was the most important takeaway of this, because If you're on a diet and then all of a sudden you stumble across a video of somebody eating 12 burgers, you're probably going to want a burger. Just turn that shit off, man. You don't need it in your life. You need to focus on you, and you need to find a way to make that diet sustainable and nice and healthy so that you're ticking all those 3 boxes so you don't even want to cheat on your diet. And every now and then, should you have a cheat meal? Of course you could, because it will keep you on point. I always say this. What is it today? Thursday. If you massively want a pizza later on, but you know you're having a pizza on Saturday night because you're going out with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or that's your designated cheat day, you're less likely to eat it on a Thursday. You'll go, oh, I'll wait 48 hours. And this actually teaches you another really good lesson about fitness, is that it's about dedication, right? It's about dedication and it's about discipline, the 2 Ds. Sometimes you're just going to have to suck it up. As much as it does suck, you just have to go, well, I'm going to have to wait. And that's how we get in the shape that you want. It doesn't matter if you break here or there, right? Again, it's Thanksgiving today. Happy Thanksgiving to my American friends if you're watching this on day 1. But it actually doesn't matter what you eat on Thanksgiving. It doesn't actually matter what you eat on Christmas. What matters is the stuff you eat between Thanksgivings. So November 2021 to November 2022, that's where you're going to make your progress, your evolution, your gains, or the reverse, depending on what you're going to want to do. In the sense that if you come to November 25th or December 25th and you smash 10,000 calories that day, if next day you're back on your diet, you're probably going to feel a little bit sick and you will be holding a lot of water weight, but your body will start to sort it out, right? It's all about consistency and it's all about what you do over the long term. So always keep that in mind. I think that it is very easy to get, it's easy to get in a position like Mr. Avocado without having all the money that comes along with it. Like, it just is. Like, eating food will make you feel good. But then when you put another positive on top of that, which again, your bank balance is increasing, I can totally see why it can be a rockety path. And again, the guy's loaded, so he's done something right. I just watched it. This is how I felt. I wanted to sit down. I wanted to talk about it. I feel like we've done that. If you don't think I'm educated enough in this subject, you can leave a comment below. But they are my thoughts. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding, ding, so you know when other videos are going live. There is another video on the screen. Why don't you give it a click? Again, given that it is this magical week of November, Black Friday sale, GorillaMind.com/Simon. Use the code B2G1Simon. Buy 2, get 1 Simon. Yeah, that's essentially it. It'll be on the screen anyway. And you can get a bunch of stuff. Go to my Instagram at Simon316 to get information like that. But also tomorrow, on the Friday, the 26th, the absolute Black Friday day, it is 30% off the whole store. So for the people that get in touch go, Simon, it's too expensive. Well, now hopefully you can save some pennies. Also talking about sustainable diets, I'm in Greg Doucette's Power 13 cookbook. Link in the description below. Use code Simon15 to get 50% off. That's the whole point of it, to give you nice meals you actually want to eat, so you don't want to smash 25 burgers. Instagram and Twitter at Simon316. Again, my DMs are open if you want to send me one of those. Patreon.com/Simon316. Simon@thebigcartel.com for merchandise. I'm on Cameo if you want me to shout at you. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was somewhat interesting. I'm glad it's off my chest. See you soon.